when we drive by this bridge, look down in that railroad cut. Once again, it wasn't as deep then as it is now, but they always have ceremonies here with the USCTs every December 15th for these men killed here. There's a cornfield over there they came through. And look to your right too, of course, if you're over there, to your left over there. A very hallowed place there. Okay, well.
Hey, question. Hey, Tom?
Get down here and then take a left.
Tom, the question back here.
Yes, sir.
I got a question about the railroad cut.
Uh-huh.
Was that a single track down there at the time?
Yes,
okay.
the Nashville Chattanooga Railroad, single track.
Okay.
So this was the feint with the left, the big hook to the right, the redoubts. They fell in the afternoon, and 22 cannons were captured. This held well here. And the Confederates pulled back. With Cheatham's going to the far Confederate left, Lee's moving down the Franklin Road to the Peach Orchard Hill, and Stewart's Corps would move to that stone wall very close to them, in the middle. And we have to jump to the second day. Thomas wired that he thought Hood was going to retreat, and Grant said to follow it up. You have a good start, follow it up. You know, hell, that's a great start to me. And Hood was not going to leave. And he made a smaller line from the Peach Orchard Hill to John Overton property. Yeah, they grew peach trees there before the war. To the Stonewall, to the Shies Hill. Smaller line, a 3-mile line, a fish hook. There's a lot of fish hooks in that war in it. Yep. Everything looks like a fish hook. On the trip last week, some man said his wife even pointed that out. Why is every place we go with this a fish hook?
I'm learning to look at the books.
By that bound down, we're going to take a right on Thompson Lane. See that intersection way down there? Below it starts going up.
Yeah.
And then we'll take a right, I'll show you.
You can't get big fees if they recognize you. Sure.
The night of December 15th, Bates Division that had marched to Murfreesboro for the 3rd Battle of Murfreesboro, December 7th, and suffering up there in this cold, were marched back in the evening of the 15th, 30 miles to get up on Shies Hill. That's the Confederate left. Boy, they just suffered more than anybody.
Tom, how come Forrest didn't get back and they did?
How come Forrest what?
Did not get back here.
He wasn't ordered here. He was stayed at Murfreesboro to keep Milroy in check. And he knew there was going to be a disaster. And he already had made plans how to connect with this army on the case of a retreat, and that's at Columbia. On December 21st, he connected with them. They came within a hair's breadth of being sucked up until Columbia. Forrest took up the rear guard with Wathals and portions of infantry that would ride in wagons, and Wilson didn't have an easier time after that, like he did up to Columbia. And take a right up here. This is the Nolensville Road that go all the way to Nolensville, Triune, and then of course left all the way to Murfreesboro. This is the route, it's the Murfreesboro Road is the route Crittensen's command used. Pretty brave. This is Thompson Lane, not for the General Thompson. And we're going to hit this to the Franklin Road and turn left. And we're going to drive by Glen Leven, SD Lee's headquarters. And when we get up there where we're going to turn, we will veer to the right and then getting Franklin Road on your left. I know it's confusing, a lot of driving, etc., etc. But George Thomas's command, his depositions were perfect. Great victory today, and Hood wouldn't retreat. A Scotch mist, they said, was coming up on December, the morning of the 15th, the fall. Remember how cold it was? Now it's thawing out. And by December 16th, about midday, it was 65 degrees. That's Tennessee and Kentucky for you, right? It'll be 70 degrees and then 21 the next day. It's hell on an old body like mine. Wilson, Sheldon asked how did Wilson perform? Excellent. He had reinforcements, 12,000 cavalry, 9,000 mounted. Excellent. He won the battle. He won this. Yeah, and Smith the right. It's a short, choppy right. Wilson's is the long right. And he won the battle, in my opinion. We need to get in the right lane. Come by as we come up over this slope. We still have time, but when we get on up over the slope, we're going to take a right there. Yeah. If we miss it by somehow, no harm, no foul, we'll make it, but, you know, we'll try our best as we get on through these lights and up this slope here. Where the sign says Franklin Road, take that right, and then we're going to go left when we get down to the bottom. Take the right, and then we're going to go left going south of Franklin Road. Remember the Peace Monument, obviously we saw earlier today? The Peace Monument used to be, look at the base over there. That's where it used to be, right there. And it used to be, you could get to it, take a left here, but then with this interstate and everything, you couldn't get to that. That's why they moved it. But that's where it was when I was a boy. That's where the tornado hit it, too.
That answers some questions. It's probably cheaper to do based.
There is a street, a name for General Hood. It's right up there on Woodmont called the General Hood Trail. GEN Hood Trail. And that was named in the 40s, 42, early 40s was when that was named. Early 40s. And I gave Sam, or Stephen Hood, let him know about that. And he looked up other things too in other parts of the country, how that late 30s, 40s, they were naming things for General Hood. We're going to take a left. Then straight on. Got a big gap on this side at least. We're going to do Nashville. Saturday's the best time to do it. We've really lucked up. And straight on. Lee's Corps on the first day was here, the middle. As you know by now, Cheatham's to our left and Stewart to your right. Lee's Corps is on this ridge up here. And Glen Leven Church is to your left, and the Glen Levan Mansion is just next to it, not that white building, but the, let's see, that's the Church of God. But Glen Leven Church will be right up here. We're going to go straight on, and this is Caldwell Lane. The artifacts have been found around here, but it was light fighting. S.D. Lee's headquarters was at this Glen Levan Mansion next door to this Glen Leven Church that my grandfather went to and father attended, especially before it was located in another area. I grew up in a divided family. There's Glen Leven Mansion right there. And it's been saved. Miss West gave the 45 acres to the Land Tennessee Historical Society, had a controlled relic hunt right through there and found breastplates and some neat artifacts. Lee's Corps will withdraw, moving down this Franklin Pike, to Peach Orchard Hill, and I'm going to take you in, God help us, God willing, we're going to take you into a football stadium. Why would I do that? That's where I took the Chicago Civil War Roundtable. Ed Barr says it's the best view he ever had of the Battle of Nashville. Did I take you up there?
Yeah,
I did.
that on the
Okay.
hill.
That's a hell of a view, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially winter time. Now people think the hill, Peach Orchard Hill, is where most of the battle was fought. Part of it was fought there, but part of it, when we get down in this low area, you know, you're veterans of these campaigns now, and so obviously the Federals would be launching their attack from this area, sweeping down these slopes with Post Brigade, Sidney Post Brigade, and Straight's Brigade. It was Post and then Straight would be attacking in this area. I'll describe the Confederates, but this is Clayton's division. Gibson's and getting the left lane by and by. We're not in a big hurry if you can't make it yet. But Gibson's Louisiana Brigade was right over there. And then it was Holtzclife's Alabama Brigade here, and Stovall's Georgia Brigade on the slopes up there. It went pow. That was not built until 1964. Coming up here is FRA Academy. So start slowing down, Rick. And I believe they change things all the time. We're going to go in the back of that school. If you get any heat, I'll take the heat. I don't think nobody will take any problems today. Okay, let's turn left and then turn right. If anybody says anything, I'll take the heat. And turn right. I know it's odd Civil War stuff go to a football field, but this is the best view from the Peach Orchard Hill where I described. Again, the USCTs, 100th, 13th, 12th, and 44th USCTs straight on.
What kind of school is this?
A private school, not a religious or faith-based school. Franklin Road Academy. It used to be called the Rebels. I knew a guy coached for them, and they didn't like that name.
Is it high school or college?
High school. High school.
It's pretty well endowed.
And very well endowed. That's where I went to school, Overton High School. This is the Overton Hills. The Overton Hills through here. Hope we're not going to be yelled at. Let's take a left here. I went to high school there and played football over there at Overton High School for the John Overton High School. He owned, Travelers Rest owned this Overton Hills. The Overton Hills went all the way to Shies Hill nearly. But this was the Overton Hill where the attacks would occur. Straight on. Again, if somebody gets mad at us, I know Headmaster Harris, unless he got old and feeble and retired. Let's see, we don't want to turn here, we're turning the next one right there.
How did you find this site?
Well, I went to high school next door, and then they built this school after I went to high school. I found a lot of relics around here, and then I called over here, and I've done programs for the school, and I asked if we could come up here. I didn't call today, but watch them having some kind of sports up here, but I don't think they are. And we're going to climb right up into that ball field and those stands way up high in view. I know it doesn't sound like a big deal right now, but you, as Clay knows and Maurice knows, you're going to enjoy, we just pull up right there by those steps. Maybe not blocking any cars. Yes, sir. We can pull out that way. So I reckon, I guess right here is about the best, so we won't block anybody. Yeah, but there's a little side thing you can get around it and through it. But let me do recon to make sure.